nice characters. And in the top right, we do have Ryung. And in the bottom left, we do have Harstem. If I'm a producer, I would offer Ryung a position as a host. To just talk to the players. Even if you wouldn't qualify. Even if you would qualify, I would still do the same. Ryung is a very great character, and he's super cocky, and he's just cool. He's extremely charming, man. So, I think 2 years ago, they were on the IM Katowice, and they had those player cards, right? So, they were talking in groups, and Ryung was kind of taking the lead for the Korean group, and just, like, smack-talking all of them, and just, like, having fun and joking around, and everybody was like, ah. He made the Koreans look human. And it was just great. He's a really cool guy. He's one of the coolest people in all of StarCraft 2. I remember watching Ryung's stream during an Archon tournament that Harstem hosted. I guess not understanding Korean, I wouldn't have been able to tell. Well, I don't understand it as well, but it was subtitled, so you can still find it there. It should be still in the VODs. It's like in those big VODs on Twitch somewhere. But it's a little bit difficult to find, I guess. Don't we have any sound on this one? Did we play without sound for the whole thing? The game has been recovered from the replay. Wow, this is great. Sound enabled. Yeah, I think we played without sound for the past hour and a half. But here we are, back with sound online now. And you need to know, if you don't know about this, there's one thing about Ryung. He played in the Swarmhost era, he was on top of his game. And that Swarmhost era was basically all Zerg. It was very Zerg heavy, Zerg favored kind of, in most of the patches. Very difficult to go past those. And he played a round of 4 GSL. He made it in there. And then he hit Sniper, I'm pretty sure it was. And he lost to Sniper. And he said this... Remember, GG. And then he left, like, you know, forfeits, loses the game, leaves the game. And that was the last map, I think, they played in that best of series. He's the Imba guy. No, he's just a very cool, really cool dude, honestly. He's just gonna try to find out what's coming out of the structures here for Ryung, but he doesn't really see that much. I think he saw those Widow Mines. That should be a tell. He sees these Hellions. You can still choose what you want to drop here as Ryung, but losing a Hellion is not gonna be great. I mean, of course, now, these days, Ryung is not that of a threat anymore to the throne, I guess. He's still a very good player, but he's not like around a 4 GSL guy, right? And he had to take some breaks with his military service, and then he took some different breaks as well, and then he came back again, and then he trained a lot with Maru, and then he came back to kind of be top of his game again, and now he's still in the... I think he's still playing a lot with Maru, they're still doing a lot together, and they're in the same team, Team Vitality, so... yeah. I think he could make a round of 4, but not finals. I don't think Ryung can make any round of 4 at these... in this era. I don't think he's good enough. But he used to be... his best matchup used to be TVT, by the way. He used to be a TVT ace. rarely losing in that. I heard Maros plays Ryung strategies. Indeed, yeah, you probably hit this here on this stream, but that's something that Ryung and Maru did say during GSLs and IEMs. Can he force a cancel? Yes. Okay, so he said Ryung can still beat Clem. That's a very interesting pair you're bringing up there. As I said just now, Ryung is and has historically been and still is one of the best TVT players. It's still his best matchup by far. And Clem is kind of the opposite. He's one of the best players in the world, but his weakest matchup would be TVT, especially against Koreans. He seems to struggle a lot. So in the end, it might just be a good match for Ryung specifically. Being that kind of TVT specialist expert and Clem being a little bit weak in that specific matchup. Forge on the way here and the Colossi range upgrade there for Harstem. Playing that on 3 base for now. Still that Hellion waiting down here with his paired up partner. And as he sees that Stalker is going to move that other Hellion in, try to find anything he can, get some scouting intel. He's actually, I like this one, he's scanning for an observer even though there is none. This is just good play in my opinion, because you should always scan. Even if you don't find that observer, there should always be one. So if you move out from your natural to any position, you should always scan on top of your army if you have no detection hanging around there. That Banshee is a little bit of a sad Banshee, kind of got not rallied properly here. Did not see that observer, of course, next to him, which was chilling over here. Another recover from a replay, oh my god. The Homestury Cup does never fail to deliver. With technical issues. Krefeld, the pinnacle of internet disaster in Germany. And that Marine got completely demolished. He's still sitting over here. Ryung is coming in here, trying to poke that army, and if he can get a good engage with those tanks, he has a nice setup. He's really someone who's very good about his tank positioning and Widowmine setup and stuff like that. He's really good with those. He just knows how to spread those armies just in a way that it's extremely hard to engage those correctly. Oh, but that tank being a little bit forward, he needs to pick that one up. He's one of those guys that, even though he has those extreme good positions before a fight starts, if the fight has already started, it's gonna be difficult for him because he doesn't have that swift and clean micro that you see from other players, like Clem for example. Internet cap going out. You know what, that has not been anything new. That has never been anything new at Homestury Cup. I still remember my days there, when I was still doing intern there, and then eventually just kept on doing the Homestury Cups as an observer. There were usually every Homestury Cup there were different issues with the internet specifically, and it was they even like have so many backups for internet. It's crazy. They have like, well, they used to have at least 3 different providers. Or at least 3 different internet connections, but with 2 providers, something like that, right? So 2 double different contracts on one provider and then a different provider with a different contract. And it just, all of those connections kept on crashing and crashing and crashing. It was super, super weird. It's like crazy. I don't know why, it must be the Krefeld internet infrastructure that is just not laid out to have like an event like that. Now, Harstem trying to push in here, but does not really find an opening. As I said, Ryung's setups are incredibly good, but this is a good move here from Harstem. Just going into that main base. There's a few Vikings though, they're starting to work on that one. We have a attack here at that third base at the same time, but this is gonna get pushed back. The main army is just gonna rally back. And the Warp Prism does not evacuate in time, is gonna get picked off by those Vikings. 3 Zealots inside. That's a costly payload. Now Harstem, that being said though, created a lot of room for himself. He has 5 bases now, or at least is attempting to take that 5th currently. 4th base up and running, going into Prism speed, double upgrades on the way here, about to finish up that 2 and 1 set. So it's gonna be a nice small advantage here for him for quite a while, being up 1 upgrade. This is a good sensor turret though, seeing all of these units. Another Nexus on the way, so Harstem playing a very expansion-centric style here. And he's kind of just trying to control the map. As you can see, he does not have that great of an army actually. He only has 3 Colossi, 3 Disruptors, 2 Archons, 1 Immortal. It's not that great. There's a lot of gateway units. It's just 22 Zealots and 14 Stalkers. It's most of the supply. Oh, that's a good kill though. A good snipe on that base, and he just wants to try and outmaneuver Ryung a little bit, but I think Ryung is one of those guys who's actually quite difficult to outmaneuver because he just likes his setups. This is not double game speed, by the way. You might be drunk. This is normal game speed. Oh, those you were looking at the Protoss upgrades. Those are chrono boosted. That's why they don't, like, the numbers don't mesh with the chrono boost. They just tick down. This looks normal, right? The Terran upgrade. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure though if they are perfectly fine. This is a nice chrono, by the way. That's such a Harstem move. Tries to chrono boost that forge, clicks on that robotics bay. Gets a nice disruption over here. And he's trying to go in with a prism, but turrets this time in place. You're not gonna kill it though. Is it double speed now? Pretty sure we're not on double speed. You can, in the bottom left, you can kind of see. Can't you? I don't know, man. Can you tell? Can you not? Is it maybe 1.5 speed? We'll have to figure out after the game. Oh, that's a good pick with that Nova. And there's a Viking missing here in this group of units. Now, Ryung is kind of struggling to push out on the map, but so is Harstem to find actually an opening in Ryung's defense. A Marine just shooting that one. It's not double speed. I did not change any on the speed settings. I mean, just look at the army movement and stuff. Everything just moves how it should move. Now, 3 Colossi did get recalled. An interesting recall. He asked him being very tactically about his maneuvers. Now we have a few DTs in this mix. Scan is gonna reveal those though. Stalkers move their legs so fast. These Colossus die so fast is what you wanted to say, I think. And the rest of this army, that was a great pick here by Ryung. He takes all of those units like they're nothing. And this is what I'm talking about, right? He has these command centers here. He has these command centers there. And then he has that tank and that PF, right? And this is deterring that big of an army. It's just a good setup. And now Ryung can go out on the map after killing so many Colossi, deleting so much of that AoE. You can just go ahead and try to poke away at Ryung, but yes, if he's not gonna fall off that cliff. Luckily for him. I wonder if these are still the 3 tanks from the early game. We'll have to check. But he never lost a tank. And if we check the unit count, it is still 3 tanks. So yes, Ryung being extremely conservative with these tanks. 4 or 5 kills, and this guy has 3 kills. So they haven't created that big of an actual value. Double prism now. But they have never died, and they deterred so many attacks or attempts. So really great play here by Ryung. Great usage. Now he might be broken in this area, but he's gonna break that area. Killing some of these stalkers there, pushing them off the map. And he should be able to cancel this Nexus, I'm pretty sure. Yes, those medevacs still healing. They do have some power. Oh my god! He's killing all of these disruptors! Everything's falling apart here for Harstem. That was a very expensive pick. Now he does have a few liberators here in the top left. Trading against stalkers. They're frickin' two-shotting them because they already have their +2. Marauders dropping into the main. ADT is gonna be warped in, but is it gonna be enough to deter that actually? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. This base is gonna get cancelled again. The DT does actually not get scanned, so he can kill those double Marauders. I guess one will get picked up and be landed into that natural on the 3rd base location. 4 force fields are actually going to be enough to keep that wall up and running here and buy a little bit of time for Harstem. That Marauder, he's like killing probes like it's nothing. Like he doesn't participate in the fight, he's harassing. He got dropped for harassment. And these guys, they have to fight that army over here on the top. And this single Marauder has been ramping up kills, which is mostly probes. He's the cool guy of the group. That Liberator is a tiny bit displaced. This base does fall. And now the Marauder finally joining the army here. Making it into that middle of the pulk. Ooh, a few MPs to destroy the rest of these units, and Ryung does kill Harstem here. So if I just go, like this is a replay, right? I'll show you guys. I'll just go back a little bit, and then it just says faster. It is on the same speed. This would be double speed. There you go. See? This is double speed. Okay. Now can we get ahead? Can we get away from that discussion? Yes. It should make sense now, right? I think everybody sees double speed now. So that should be the clarification we were looking for. This was indeed normal speed. Everything good? I just hope you're not drunk now, Mr. Gling. I mean, if you are, maybe lucky for you. You're having a lot of fun with that. Now going into the next game here. So Ryung did take the first map and is up 1-0. No worries, Mr. Gling. You're very much welcome. But as you can see, no shenanigans going on. Everything was going correctly there. Thank you though for voicing that concern. In the top right we do have Harstem, and in the bottom left we do have Ryung. Been watching laggy Korean casted games all day. Ah, okay. Are they actually StarCraft 2 games that are casted in Korean? And why are they laggy though? Did anyone host a tournament on fast instead of faster? I don't think, no. I don't think. Maybe in the beta or in the alpha phases where there was no faster yet? Might have been. Is it though yet? Is it though? Or does it not? I'm not sure. I think they did patch it like to be exactly 1-1 to faster, and then they patched it back, and then they patched it again, and then they patched it back again, or something like that. So they move forward here and there. I think the current game time should be the exact time, like normal actual time, the faster time. And you're talking about what occurred in Heart of the Swarm. That was actually the thing that was going on. And you had like an hour game, but it would be only 40 minutes in real time, or like around 40 minutes, right? So that did get a lot of times patched and revoked and whatnot. So I'm not exactly sure on the current state, but I think it should be 1-to-1 with real time. Just so it's easier to read the clock of that game and just make sense out of build orders and something like that. The time is 1-to-1 now. Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna be back in that area, by the way. I'm gonna post an announcement later, which is gonna feature a Wings of Liberty tournament on Monday. Monday evening. The Monday Night Cup on NA is gonna be Wings of Liberty. We hope for a good sign-up of players. And that's gonna be then all the way back 13 years ago. The last state of the patch. We'll have the Raven being extremely overpowered, the Phoenix being extremely overpowered, the Reaper is extremely overpowered, the tank is extremely underpowered, the Medivac is kind of underpowered, the Immortal is super overpowered, the Sentry is super overpowered. What does Zerg have that's overpowered? Banelings? I don't know. Everything? Drops? I'm not sure. Mutalisks, I guess. Corruptors with that old corruption thing, and not the P. They can't attack buildings or yeah, anything at all. They can, but they can't boost damage. So yeah, a lot of good things. It's gonna happen on Monday. Keep your eyes peeled for that one. We'll definitely get that announcement out today. I've already written it up. I have another guy who's double checking it currently, and then we'll post it tonight. Probably need to add a little bit more information there in that announcement. It's gonna be in our Discord for that Monday Cup, of course. The Picasaur, by the way, Stego Monday. That's the one we're hijacking here, Dan and me. And it's gonna have a little bit of a boosted prize pool as well. We'll have a new approach, I guess, or a different approach. Maybe not new, but a different approach from the standard one for the prize pool. We have like 610 bucks prize pool, and that's gonna be 210 bucks split amongst 6 players who will perform the best with their races. So the top 2 Protoss, the top 2 Terran, and the top 2 Zerg players will all get prize money paid out to them. It's gonna be 40 bucks for the first of each race, and let me lie, 25 I think, or wait, 30 for the second of each respectable race, to encourage everyone to play their race. And then we have the normal standard payout, 200 for the first, 100 for the second, and I think 50-50 for fourth and third. But in addition to that, they will get that extra bump. So the first one, if it's a Protoss, will get like 240 or whatever, right? So stuff like that. Now Banshee's coming across the map here, and there's no detection, there's no shield battery up. A little bit of a missed timing here by Harstem, also losing a Stalker. By the way, we haven't really talked about this game. I'm sorry, but Cloak Banshee is on the radar here. And that Banshee is actually dealing a lot of damage. It's starting to work on that shield battery. Now the Observer comes in, the Banshee has to retreat. Gonna run out of energy anyways. And we have this push here on the left. There's a bunch of Stalkers, they can deal with this, but only if this is engaged correctly. Tanks are gonna siege up, Banshee is gonna get sniped, losing already a few of those Stalkers. Retreating to that shield battery. He needs that guardian shield from the sentry. Can he get it up? Oh, he's gonna actually go for a few force fields here. Interesting choice to shave off some of those marines and trade those very efficiently. Now Ryung is gonna start to move that Banshee into that natural, but there's already an observer waiting there. And he will probably just retreat from this position. Banshee, is it gonna go in or is it gonna fly through? I guess it's gonna go in. See how much it can make happen here. It's gonna kill 3 workers and then it's gonna rotate out. Now Stim on the way, combat shields on the way here for Ryung. And if we can get these 2 tanks back to safety, it's gonna be great. But if one of those gets sniped, it's gonna be kudos to Harstem. He gets the first one, does not get the second one though. And here we are in a safe location, I wanted to say, but that tank only got 1 shot off. The Marines walking a little bit too far, in my opinion there. And some nice trades for Harstem. And Banshee is still hanging around. That's 6 worker kills. We do see again the laser giraffe upgrade and the 4th base coming online here. Another Banshee actually. We made 3 Banshees. There we go, another recover from mid-range. This is so crazy, man. I'm so useless. 3D is a Russian clan, by the way. You were wondering. Pretty sure it is. A Russian organization. Everything used to be clan back in the day. Now everything's like esports organization. Oh, Ryung is setting up his double Banshee. He's going in now with the first Banshee, hitting that geyser at first. And the other one is actually being found by that observer. And now he's pushing out with his army here on the front, trying to probe these stalkers. And that's a good fake blink there, scaring the Banshees away. A 3rd base being set up, but as I said, a tiny bit slow, quite far behind here. Oh shit, he killed his own tank. He shot his own tank. And he's still producing tanks. He's constantly been producing tanks. He lost 2, and then he killed his own. He killed his own. Is there anything that shows? See? Units killed. Siege tank and observer, and that's by him. Killed by himself. It does not show up in this one, in the unit lost. This is a different tank. Or these 2 are different tanks. He just... that was a shooting command there. Those Marines, man, they were like executioners. That poor tank. Now the Banshee's coming in here in the north, is working on that shield battery. We do see a recall, most likely on an observer that's not in position here to deal with this one. There we go. But can this push... imagine this push has 3 more tanks. That would be insane. Now it only has... it's still 1 tank, does survive. Can he make this work? Or is Harstem gonna be able to defend this one? Banshee's dealing so much damage here. 9 kills on this one, 4 kills on this one. It's just chilling around. This one is still finding damage here on that geyser. Has to pull away. And the next Banshee comes in again here at this base. Working on those probes. He's gonna lose the Banshee now. But imagine if you have 2 more tanks here. This would be 4 tanks at this stage. It's crazy, man. Shooting his own tank there, losing... or like 3 more even, right? Losing those 3 earlier. Kind of unnecessary as well. A tiny bit too greedy there with that retreat. Now this is a great setup. As I said, Ryung is just so good at setting up those angles and spreading out his army before an engagement, just waiting for his opponent to try and collapse into him or poke into him, and then he collapses onto his opponent rather. Nope, that observer. Can he get the observer? No, it's gonna be safe here. And Harstem is doing Harstem things. He's sending out a prism when he's under pressure, and he's trying to take out whatever he can on the other side. He'd get another cancel on this base. This is a very, very greedy attempt to try and retake that one. And Zealots starting to charge in here are gonna find a sensor turret attempt. It's gonna get cancelled, but reinforcements are gonna be here. And look at this. He's just... he has this ground. He's just like, this is my area. Now he moves in a little bit. He stims a tiny group forward. He basically just moves the same setup just a little bit closer. And the Banshee again. This is so annoying. This Banshee is so annoying. It doesn't really deal any damage anymore. It's just there. It just triggers attack notifications. Now Prism coming into the main. Can he get the Prism? Harstem trying to push in the middle, but he needs to be careful there. Ryung's army is still in place. It can still kill this base. Cancel is gonna be forced here. Harstem looking only at 3 bases. Banshee's even working on the army now. And finally it's gonna get ripped apart here, losing that cloak. To have another attempt here at damage by Harstem, but he can't really find much. Finds one single SCV there. And now the 3rd base is under threat. As I said again, look at these setups here. Just use a smaller force of bio, then he has his ghosts behind for those EMPs. He gets those EMPs through, and he had the Vikings in this area to try and poke at the Colossi. Now he can just go in and possibly kill that Nexus, but he still needs to defend against this War Prism here. This is delaying his reinforcements. This kind of 3 siege tank position is so gross. It's just so cool and gross at the same time. He has no high ground vision. He needs to be careful though. He needs to have like 1 Marine up here. He's gonna snipe again this base here, and Harstem can never get the 4th. He's gonna run out of money soon. Ryung is just choking him to death basically here. And finally Harstem is acknowledging the fact and trying to take a base a little bit further away. But Ryung maybe can still get that base done. I mean, if you try to defend there, then he can just poke in over here and grab this already established base. Oh, even DTs. Oh no, Kevin. Fusion core finishing up. We do have starports with no add-ons. Are we looking at a battlecruiser transition here? Are we looking at a battlecruiser transition here? Oh, that one tank got left behind. He still gets a shot off? Can't believe it. He's not making anything yet with those Stargates. He still has that Cyclone, by the way. That's the one from the early game. I think we will not see anything out of these Stargates. But maybe I spoke too soon. Actually, good engage here from Harstem. Shredding a lot of units. Now he's only getting Vikings out of these things. What's this gonna be? Gonna be just Liberators? I mean, that should be it, but Ryung would be crazy enough to be like in a game where he's in the lead like this to go battlecruiser. But there we go, Liberator range on the way. Should probably throw down a couple of reactors, even to get possibly 6 units at the same time going there. Can Harstem hold this base? It's a very crucial base for him. Micro's looking good for Ryung here. Splits are looking decent enough, and he's gonna take the engagement and gonna win this series 2-0 after 3 disconnects from the game and recovers from replay.